In a bustling city, where everyone was always in a hurry, lived a man named Thomas. Thomas was an ordinary office worker with a routine that never seemed to change. Every morning, he would board the same crowded bus and ride it to his job downtown. Despite the monotony, Thomas felt secure in his predictable life. He seldom looked outside his own little world until one fateful winter morning, when an unexpected encounter changed his perspective forever. While waiting at his usual bus stop, Thomas noticed an elderly woman sitting alone on a bench. She was wrapped in a thin, tattered blanket, shivering from the biting cold. Her eyes were filled with a deep sadness that seemed to go unnoticed by the hurried masses. Something stirred within Thomas, a sense of compassion he hadn't felt in years. Without thinking twice, he approached her and asked if she was all right. She smiled weakly and replied that she was just waiting for someone who never came. Her name was Margaret, and she had been living on the streets ever since she lost her family in a tragic accident. Thomas's heart ached as he listened to her story. He offered her his own scarf and a warm cup of coffee from a nearby cafe. Margaret's eyes lit up with gratitude, and for a brief moment, the sadness in them faded. He couldn't just leave her there, so he decided to take a day off work and help her find a shelter. As they walked together through the city, Thomas saw the world through Margaret's eyes. The bustling streets were no longer just a route to work. They were filled with people, each with their own stories, struggles, and dreams. He realized how disconnected he had been from the world around him. At the shelter, the staff welcomed Margaret warmly and promised to help her rebuild her life. Thomas stayed with her until she was comfortably settled in. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment, something his routine life had never provided. From that day on, Thomas made it a point to look beyond his own life and extend a hand to those in need. He volunteered at the shelter, met incredible people with heart-wrenching stories, and learned the true meaning of compassion. The experience not only changed Margaret's life, but also transformed Thomas into a kinder, more empathetic person. And as he continued his journey through life, he carried with him the invaluable lesson that true fulfillment comes from helping others, making the world a little kinder, one small act of compassion at a time.